Hello, 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 everybody. Happy Sunday, and welcome to a new episode of Open Letters to a Survivor. I'm James, and I have two of the queens here. We have Lady Poet Speaks, and we have Keysonda Williams. And
Hello.
Kayla will be with us shortly. But how are you ladies doing tonight?
Awesome. How are you?
Listen, the pretty girl down here getting her camera together. What's up?
We are good. Yeah, it's camera. So I don't know what it is today, but in this area we're having a lot of like internet
Yeah,
issues, so we're trying to get it together. So
that- that's the nature of the game. So it's all good. I know y'all got it together. So a great show in store tonight. I know you have some amazing guests with you tonight. Of course, we're gonna have Kay Love come up shortly as soon as her connection is together, and we got Lena in the background. I am just gonna go ahead and pass the baton to you, Lady Poet Speaks, and have at it.
all right. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in to another episode of Open Letters to a Survivor. I am your creator and founder, Lady Poet Speaks. I do have my awesome co-host Cassandra Williams, and of course, K Love will be hopping in shortly. So I do want to just welcome everybody to the show. Again, we will put a trigger warning on the show only because we're talking about again chronic illness and mental health for this month. So if you are triggered by it, we are putting on a trigger warning for this show. So sit back, enjoy tonight's guest and tonight's episode. And as always, I'm going to turn it over to Cassandra to do the letter.
All right. Thank you so much, Lady Poet. good evening, and good evening. Welcome to Open Letters to a Survivor podcast. We are going to go ahead and get started, as always, with our Dear Survivor letter. Ah, Dear Survivor, I see you, even when the world doesn't. I see the way you push through, how you carry the weight of battles no one else can see, and still greet the day with that radiant smile. Some think strength is loud, but yours is the quiet kind, the kind that chooses joy despite the struggle, the kind that keeps showing up when no one would blame you for staying in bed. But hear me, sis. Strength doesn't mean carrying it all alone. You deserve rest as much as you deserve healing. You deserve peace as much as you give love. And you deserve a space where you don't have to be strong, just you. So keep taking care of that beautiful soul of yours. Keep allowing yourself to feel, to rest, to seek help when you need it. Healing isn't about perfection, it's about progress. And every day, you are proving that you are more than a survivor. You are a light. Take care and be well as you elevate along your healing journey. Sincerely, Lady Poet Speaks, K Love, the entire team of Open Letters to a Survivor, tonight's guest, Tanjarae Porter, and me, Cassandra Williams.
Thank you, thank you. Like I said, your letters are always so inspiring. So we're going to let you introduce tonight's guest, and I'll go on with the first question, and then I'm going to see what's going on with the technical issues. But I will go ahead with that. So you can introduce our guest for tonight.
No problem. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have the pleasure and honor of introducing tonight's guest, who is a dear sister friend of mine who I met only a few years ago, but it feels like it's been a lifetime and in a very positive way. So, we're going to bring up to the stage Ms. Tanjarae Porter.
Yay! Welcome, welcome.
Hey, y'all. How you doing?
I told you that energy is high, high, high. Hello, my love. How are you?
I'm good. A little under the weather today. I don't know if y'all can hear it in my nasal cavities today, but I'm good. No complaints. No complaints.
All right, well, you got the makeup and the hair on fleek, so we can't even pay attention to all the rest.
Thank you. You know, sometimes we gotta fake it until we make it. Today is that day.
She
They
got
got
the
the
nails, the jewelry. Just yeah. Thank you
man,
so much
man.
for joining us this evening, though. It
Thanks
really
for
is.
having me.
Yes. Yeah, we do want to thank you for coming on, especially to be so open to share parts of your story. So we do appreciate all of our guests, but we appreciate you for coming on tonight. So thank you.
Anytime, anytime. I'm an open book.
Me too. I tell people sometimes I'm too open, but hey, I'd rather tell you the truth.
Me
So,
too. Me too.
right.
Help.
So I'm gonna jump in with the first question. And that is, can you share your journey with your chronic illness and how it has impacted your mental health?
Yes. Woo-wee. So I was thinking about this question because it's like, well, which chronic illness do we want to talk about? Because your girl got several. We got several labels over here. And so I think I'll start there. Like, and some are like basic, if you will, like eczema. I've had eczema my whole life, but it does have an impact on your mental health. Developed alopecia areata in 2013. Thank the Lord, these locks is flourishing, baby, because woo, as long as my hair has been in my whole life. But we can say that for another day. Yes. My hair is now in the middle of
I
my
know.
back.
I
Yes.
know. I never knew
Yes.
you had alopecia. Okay.
Yes, 2013. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about that. But I'm like, let me get y'all the list first. I say I am allegedly diagnosed with idiomyosis because you can't really find out if you really have it unless you have a hysterectomy, and who's doing that? I don't need that right now. So allegedly have that. It's very similar. I'm not gonna say extreme is endometriosis because it's definitely not that. And for all the endo sisters out there, I am praying for y'all's healing. I have some good friends that suffer with that. So I can only imagine. And I'm like, mine ain't that. So, woo. But I was also recently diagnosed in October 7th with mixed connective tissue disease, which is an autoimmune disorder that falls in line with lupus and scleroderma, which is something that my grandmother had. Whoa, I heard a beat play. What's that?
Yep. Sorry.
all good. But it's basically like the overlap disease. You have several symptoms from the other ones like lupus, scleroderma, with some other ones out there, Sjogren's syndrome, all these other ones I had never heard of until I was diagnosed with mixed connective. But it's also called overlap disease. I also have ADHD, which I didn't find it out until 2019. I think it's 2019, maybe 2020. I don't know. And as well as PMDD, which is a premenstrual dysphoric disorder. And that one, woo, I kind of self-diagnosed myself with that one years ago. However, when you officially get a diagnosis, like, I knew I wasn't crazy. I knew it.
You got your Google MD going on over
I sure did, but I was like, I know I am not crazy. And I know PMDD has just like recently like found the interwebs, or has garnered some more awareness in the last few years thanks to TikTok. Like people say TikTok ain't nothing. TikTok be teaching. So thanks to TikTok, it has spread some awareness, right? But I was officially diagnosed with that, I want to say 2019 too. So between 2019 and last year, labels. So I had to give y'all that in order to even talk about my journey of like chronic illness and the impact of mental health. We all know how eczema messes with people. It's your skin. You feel some type of way. So no need for me to go down that rabbit hole. But when I found out I had alopecia in 2013, and I have to start with there because I feel like that's where everything started. I've always suffered from chronic pain. Let me start there. I've always suffered from chronic pain as long as I can remember, like as early as like 7. I've always had some kind of pain. And of course, as kids, they're like, it's just growing pains. Okay, it's just growing pains. And I'm a pretty lanky, tall, long girl. So why would I think anything different, right? So I had to name that. I always kind of had some kind of pains. But as far as alopecia goes, that happened in 2013. And It was a little bit. It was I want to say, I realized it was like May 2013 after my husband had, engaged, proposed, all of that, my hair braided, all of that with these beautiful long braids. And I noticed I had a spot like right here at the front and center of my head. And I was like, yo, is it just the part? Yeah. I had went to the African braiders. Y'all know how they be braiding too tight. I was like, is it the part? And no, it wasn't. After I took the braids, I'm like, oh, that's still there. And it got bigger and it got bigger. And then I'm like, okay. I found like 4 or 5 more in my head. And I'm like, what the heck is this? So I ended up going to the dermatologist and they was like, you have alopecia areata. And I was like, oh no, like I'm getting married next year. What is happening? And like my hair was legit like falling out in my hands. I'm like, who knows what to do with that?
Right.
So I had to start with that one because I always tell people, that I was forced to go natural. It was not a choice or go back to natural. It was very much so forced because I was against it. I loved my little pixie cut. You couldn't tell me nothing. Couldn't tell me I wasn't Rihanna's little sister with my pixie cut. Loved it. So I went through a lot of like identity issues with that of just like, this is not what I wanted. What do I do as a Black girl with no hair? Is my hair still gonna keep falling out? Am I gonna lose like my eyebrows and my lashes and all those things? Because I didn't know much about it. I knew about I think it's alopecia totalis, the total alopecia when you lose everything. I knew nothing about alopecia areata, nothing. And that it is only like quarter size bald spots in it that it can grow back. And I still have them, but my locks, the way my cousin did my locks, she covered up the bald spots. So they're still in there, very much so. But you can't see them. And now I wear it as a badge of honor, alopecia warrior. So I definitely had to start there because that's where I really feel like things started to really impact my mental health. Like I didn't want to come outside. I wore hair wraps. That was kind of like the start of the hair wrap situation. Well, no, that kind of happened in college, but I really wore them then. My wigs, like every time I went to the beauty supply store, I had 2 wigs coming out of there. So, to hide, but I'm a wig girl. I used to be a wig girl. Girl, yeah. Y'all need to see this drawer that I really need to get rid of because who's wearing them now? I got too much hair now. So that definitely played a part. And then I'll speak to the PMDD, so premenstrual dysphoric disorder. It's basically an extreme version of PMS. When the lows are low, they are low, bad, low, horrible. I can't. Every synonym you can think of that goes to horrible. That's there. Like having straight, to be honest, rage fits. Like everybody sees me as a smiley, energetic person, which I am, except for the week before my cycles. It's ugly. It is like this feeling of like extreme despair and unworthiness and panic attacks. And when I tell you rage, oh gosh, God bless my husband. And I mean it on a serious tip. God bless my husband, his patience. Because there have been moments where I'm just like, I don't know why I feel this way. He just like, go lay down. Like, I feel some type of way and I don't know why. He's like, just go lay down, go relax, go take your butt bath, do whatever it is that you need to do. Like, very supportive. I thank God for him. Because I know I probably about ran this man crazy before I even knew what that was, because the mood swings will be so quick that I'm like, I don't even know what just happened here. Like, how did I go from 0 to 100 that bad? Insomnia, and of course, if you lack of sleep affects your mental health, right? So I was officially diagnosed with that. I think it was 2019. All these years run together. So I think it was that. Like brain fog, severe brain fog, like struggling to remember things, all of that. And I do now believe that also played a part with the disorder that I have now, more so than, PMDD and ADHD, right? So yeah, I had to address that because a lot of people don't know what PMDD is, and like, Google that thing, baby. Google it. It's like, oh snap, I ain't crazy. It's legit. My hormones are doing what they want to do, right? But and moving forward from there, I'm gonna touch back on the mixed connective tissue disorder, or disease, or whichever one you want to name it, which was I officially got diagnosed in October 7th, the Monday of fall break. Okay, I'm gonna go on a fall break with this. Officially diagnosed with that, and that all came about just because I was like, 2024 is gonna be my year of wellness. I was like very adamant about like just being well in every sense of the word. And I'm like, I haven't really been to the doctor other than, my well woman checkups, this, that, and the other. Like, we got to do those. But like, as far as knowing all the other things, all the other blood work and all of that, I hadn't been to the doctor in forever because I'm a seemingly healthy person. I only go to the doctor unless I need to, right? Or most of us do. Urgent care. Thank you. So, February 2024, we ended up finding us a new PCP and ended up going. And great PCP, Black man. Thank you. I would love a Black woman, but I'll take this Black man because he is dope and he's very thorough and he listens. And so I got my blood work back because I was actually going to see if like I had a nodule on my thyroid in 2012. So I was like, did it grow? I don't know what's going on with it, And so he was like, let's check it. Let's get you the ultrasound and your blood work. Let's get you some baseline data. Cool. Got the data back, got the blood work back. Come to find out my white blood cell count was low. And it was like a 2.9. And he was like, I'm not too worried about it. You got enough antibodies to fight whatever infection you may get, sinus infection, because my sinuses are horrible, which is why I sound like this. And he was like, but when you come back, take these vitamin D pills or whatever, supplements, because most Black people got a vitamin D deficiency. That's normal. And in 12 weeks, come back and we'll do more blood work. Cool. Took the medicine, came back. My blood count went from a 2.9 to a 2.4. And I think it's supposed to be like a 5 or something like that. I'm not a medical professional, so don't quote me, y'all. But if I'm not mistaken, that's what the man said. And so I was like, So the data says that thing dropped. Okay, what's next? And he then was like, okay, I'm gonna send you to a hematologist. I don't believe it's anything, but I'd rather be safe than sorry, which I thank him so much for being that thorough. Ended up going to the hematologist, got more tests and labs, and got that back. I have a severe iron deficiency, which now made sense why I was chronically fatigued all the time. Like, to the point, this is going to sound crazy, but I'm going to share it. To the point where I was falling asleep at the wheel when, at a stoplight. It was that bad. And, I was chalking it up to, I'm just tired. I teach. We as teachers, we tired all the time. So I was chalking it up to like lifestyle things. And, but my iron was so low, y'all. I forget. It was like, I think your iron's supposed to be like a 50. Mine was a 21. Yeah, it was bad. So, of course, iron pills. And I was like, nope, these iron pills are hurting my stomach. I don't want to take them no more. So I ended up having to do 3 iron infusions in this past November, which, I don't wish that on nobody. No, that was intense. Yes. That was so intense that I don't want to wish that on anybody. I feel better, though, but I don't want to wish that on anybody. So, yeah, that's the journey of some of the illnesses that I'm walking around with or thriving with. I hate saying suffering because I'm not suffering, I'm thriving. But also like how it impacts your mental health of just like, there are just days you don't want to do anything. There are days where you feel like no one understands you, especially when you have an invisible chronic illness. Like, I thank God for all the people who are fighting cancer openly and hard and doing, because that's a physical, you can physically see what's happening due to the chemo and all of that. But when you have a invisible something, no one believes you. And it's so, I'm not gonna say no one believes you, but it's harder to believe, especially when you're a high functioning person like myself. I'm very high functioning. What I do at a pain level 10, people are like, you sure you're in pain? Hey, life got to get done. I can't stop just because my hip is killing me today, which I kind of stopped at. So I can definitely say that was something that you know, I had to work through of just like, it's okay to rest. It's okay to say, I'm not okay today. And stop lying about it. Like, I'm fine. No, I'm not fine. Right now, I'm going to crawl under the bed. I am sick. I feel horrible. My entire body hurts when the weather changes. Oh my gosh, I hate winter time. I hate winter. I can't wait to April. I can't stand it because now that I know what it is,
Right.
it causes the intense flare-ups. And I didn't know that before prior to last year. So that's just a little nugget. Let me be quiet so y'all can answer the next question.
So funny.
Um, James left a comment. James, can you put your comment back up there? I was gonna read it real quick. It said, "I know that feeling of pushing through from the effects of lupus." And yes, and so you speaking the truth actually, because as a thyroid cancer survivor myself, I just know what it's like to push through regardless of how you feel. Because after the cancer, I still have the Graves' disease, so I still have the severe double vision sometimes, the ups and downs, the if it's too hot, I'm taking off all my clothes. If it's too cold, I'm sitting up here shivering because my iron is affected by the Graves' disease. So I completely understand. So I just thank you so much for your transparency, because a lot of people, like you said, just because I'm up here functioning and I'm doing everything, half the time I still can't see. So just because I'm doing it don't mean everything is fine. It just means I still got to do what I need to do.
That part. Like, I remember sharing with a couple coworkers, you know, what my most recent diagnosis, and they were like, "How are you still walking?" I said, "Y'all just don't know how bad it hurt to walk right now, but it is what it is." It is what it is. Like, I have to show up. I have to go to work because I got to pay bills. It is what it is. So I'm just gonna, now I sit down more than I used to, you know, because I'm just sick of pushing through. Like, if my body doesn't feel like doing it, sit your tail down. That's what I tell myself. Sit your tail down, girl. Like today,
so
I sleep until 11 o'clock.
You're supposed to. You have to do that and pay attention to what your body is saying and how your mind is responding. And all of it goes together. We can't just ignore it, because at some point your body is going to do what it's going to do. Now, either you're going to do it before time or you're going to let it do its own self. And so with that being said, my question for you, and you have addressed it, so I'm going to state it. But then I'm actually just going to pass the mic over to K Love, because you were really thorough with what you were discussing. So you addressed it. And that question was, what were some of the first signs that your mental health was being affected by your illness? And you actually kind of addressed a lot of that, some of the first signs that you noticed and how you were being impacted by that. And so I'm going to go ahead and let K Love put in the next question.
Hey, darling.
Hey, love.
You. I love you. Love you. Love you.
Thank you.
So, my question goes in line with what we've already tapped into, but what are the biggest mental health challenges you faced while managing your chronic illness?
Ooh, the biggest mental health challenges. Woo. I would definitely say trying not to fall into severe depression. That has been one of the biggest. And I will also say, I feel like I'm managing it pretty well now with all the chronic situations. But I can think back to 2018 after I lost my grandfather. And I think Cassandra probably has heard me talk about this a little bit, because I go live on Facebook and I tell you everything. But back in 2018, I lost my grandfather. He and my grandmother raised me. So that was basically my father, right? And I didn't realize that I was holding the grief and stress in my body. So it was manifesting in other ways. Like, I was swelling up. And I'm a little girl. I'm like, wait, it was very noticeable when your wrist swells up. Girl, what's going on? Did something bite you? And so I think that has been, after that experience, that was one of my biggest challenges of trying to, I didn't understand how stress, anxiety, and all those other things manifest in your body as pain and other illnesses and all that other jazz. If I have to say, that was my biggest mental health challenge. But now I feel like I manage it pretty well. I just do what I need to do. I go on into my room, me and my little dog, and we good. So rub on my baby, we good. So or find a quiet time, do whatever I do. So to answer that question, grief, chronic illness, not friends.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So you actually kind of touched on my question too, and it was, how do you cope with unpredictability of like the flare-ups that you get? Like, how do you like cope with that? And you did say, you just retreat and you got to realize you need to take rest. But one thing I want to say before you actually touch on that is I really love like your personality and how you can smile through it and just laugh through it. So I just wanted to compliment you on that, like while we're talking.
Thank you. I'm a firm believer of you don't have to look like what you've been through, because you don't know how your joy is inspiring somebody else. Like, y'all, we could be on this thing all day. I got plenty stories, plenty outside of chronic illness, and that's one of my values of like show up as joy is best, whatever joy looks like for you that day. For me, it's these bright colors, which is me anyway. But that was today's joy because I'm like, I don't feel good, but I'm finna go be joyful and shiny and bright. So thank you for that compliment. I really appreciate that. As far as coping, that's one of the things, finding joy. Finding joy, even in the small things of like, I taught my mom how to crochet in 2020. So, because she was also going through grief after losing her mom in 2019. And so one of my favorite things is to see like, what is my mom's latest project? And of course, it's like, how does that have anything to do with coping with your symptoms and all of that? Her joy makes me happy. My husband's joy, when he's smiling about something, it makes me happy. So definitely finding joy in the life things that are happening definitely helps when those moments where I'm feeling low. But also finding my own joy, whether that is I'm a hoodie wearing girl. Today y'all got cute me. But any other day I'm in a sweatshirt and a hoodie. Yes. They make me so happy.
Right.
So finding that comfort. So finding comfort definitely helps with like the flare-ups, especially during the cold seasons. There's no excuse because I'm like, oh, it's cold. I'm definitely gonna throw on a hoodie and some sweatpants like I have on now. I got sweatpants right now, y'all. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm cute up top, like real chill at the bottom. Because they make me happy, but they also keep me warm. And I wear them in the summertime too, y'all. So that has been supportive of just like find things that's joyful, something that's comfortable feeling to me, especially because a lot of my pain hits me in my right hip. Like it gets real bad. So a lot of clothing that has like tight elastic on it. Legging days, few and far between, as much as I love my leggings. I can genuinely say, and I share this here, the week before my cycles, no ma'am. Who's not putting on elastic and leggings is me, because I get my biggest flare, which now I know flares up the mixed connective tissue situation. It gets worse in my hips. So I stay away from like tight things on my hips. You'll see me wear a lot of dresses, not even skirts, because you got the elastic in there. So I wear a lot of like dresses, or if I do have on a skirt, it's very like loose, because I'm like, I can't do that. It hurts, which is why I hate winter, because you got to put on more clothes. So, give me a summer dress all day. So definitely those, but I will say tracking, which it kind of goes into like the next one of strategies, because I was reading my questions, the strategies piece. But tracking when I have the biggest flare-ups, I had to put that there because that also has supported with the unpredictability, because a lot of times it's not as unpredictable as we think.
Right. Right.
And for me, I noticed I have the biggest flares during the winter, or when there's a weird weather situation going on, or like around my lady time, I'll be honest.
Mhm.
So it's not as unpredictable, but it be happening sometimes.
Listen, you have studied yourself up very well, because we like going through our interview and you done pick, okay, yeah, let me address this, let me address that, let me address this.
Well, I'm a naturally thorough person. My power's in the detail. That's my superpower, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. The detail.
I love it. I love it. And it's so funny, y'all. I'm just going to say this real quick. And as much as she's talking about, again, the chronic pain, the flare up in the hips and what have, tell them what type of teacher you are.
I'm a dance teacher. Yes.
Oh, no.
I'm glad you brought that up, because that's going to go into the mental health situation. Like, I'm so glad you brought that up, because I forget to talk about that. The chronic pain has definitely like pushed me into finding a new identity when it comes to being a dance teacher, especially, again, wintertime. It's wintertime right now. And I haven't really been able to like even truly teach my kids. I teach elementary children. Luckily, they down for anything that we do. But with that being said, I thank God for YouTube, because those days like last week, I couldn't really physically move. Thank the Lord for YouTube. You finna teach this African dance, YouTube, because I can't. Like, my knees hurt so bad that trying to bend down and teach all these motions, no, ma'am, no, sir. I can't. And I'm very transparent, just like I am with the other people. I'm very transparent with my students of, Miss Porter does not feel good today. I'm going to need your support to be a leader. And of course, children are like, I would love to help. So thankful for that. That they are so caring and loving. But like, that has literally been something that I've been struggling with for years, but especially this year, knowing that what I have is never going to go away. How does that impact my career? Like, I want to perform again, but how does that impact performance? So glad you brought that up, because that has definitely been in the journal here lately. Yep.
Well, because you are such a thorough teacher, you hit on things before we even asked the question. We love. Don't get it twisted. We love that part, because my next question was, what strategies and therapies and tools you have found most helpful for managing your chronic illness and your mental health alongside with your chronic illness. And
now, I just gave y'all one strategy now, because, you know, I knew that was a question. So the main strategy, well, I'm not going to say the main strategy. One of my favorite strategies so far has been tracking. I found this app, and please download it. It's the best app ever. It's called Unbearable. It's called Bearable. It has a little white bear on it. And I love it because you can track your symptoms. You can track your moods, all those different things. So I definitely, as a planner girl myself, I love the idea of tracking things, not all the things in life, but that has definitely helped to see if like my pain levels are correlated with my moods, or if the weather, because you can put a little weather situation in there, is the weather impacting the pain. So it's real cool, y'all. So definitely download the Bearable app just to play around with it and see. I love it. I even told my therapist about it. I was like, girl, you need to tell the clients to use this. Because now I'm able to give her accurate, like, this month was horrible.
Right.
Every day I felt some type of way. Or like, no, this is a great month. Or, you know, I stood up all dang on day. I'm hurting. So definitely that, but also keeping up with my like consistent appointments. Like late this past year has been doctor's appointments, making sure I don't cancel them, because I'm a cancel type girl. I will cancel because I don't want to go. I don't get stuck no more. but I didn't cancel no appointments. I'm proud of me. Uh, but also, I do go to the chiropractor. I know a lot of people feel some type of way about chiropractor, but going to the chiropractor is really what saved my life. To be honest, it gave me my life back. I think I started in 2019, something like that. Because I was in so much pain all the time that like regular household chores were horrible. Like, who's washing the dishes? Because I got to stand up. Like, no, that hurt. Who's washing out the tub? No, that hurt. Who's going to wash the dog? I can't do that. Like, it was legit. I can laugh about it now, but at those moments, I was like, I can't do that. Like, physically can't do that. And of course, because my situation is invisible, and I'm fairly young. Like, I just turned 36 in December. So people are like, especially older people, what, your hip ain't hurting? You too young to be hurt. I got a body, don't it? Like, you don't know my life. Like, so that's frustrating, y'all. I can definitely tell you that. Like, have to hold my tongue and moving in the spirit of God when people do that, because I'm like, you don't know my life outside of what I'm showing you right now. I'm in legit pain right now as I'm talking to you, so please stop talking to me. But I don't say that. I just move with grace and a smile and go on about my business, because I go from 0 to 100 real fast. Okay, and I know this about myself. I know my things. But y'all silly. I'm so silly. So yes, chiropractor, consistent. Like, I pre-schedule things for the entire quarter. Because if I don't, I will forget to make the appointment. So I just make it for the entire quarter. Resting, which I've mentioned that a lot, and I'm mentioning it so much is because that's a new thing for me, of sitting down when my body tells me to sit down, or sit in the bed a little longer because I don't feel like it. I don't feel like getting out of bed. Like, I need an extra hour, and being okay with that. Yeah, that's the big one for me, and what you're gonna hear me keep repeating it, because that is new. That is so new for me, y'all. Asking for accommodations when I need it. So again, going back to being recently diagnosed with the mixed connective tissue, and now knowing what's causing the joint pain, the first accommodation, I told my school, I was like, I need to be able to wear my tennis shoes, like my running shoes, because they have the most cushion and support versus Vans and Converse. They have no support, which I was wearing them naturally anyway. But like, now that I know, when you know better, you do better. So having my doctor to like give me a medical note of, nope, she needs to wear her shoes, and nope, she can't do outside duty no more in the wintertime. Hallelujah. Your girl was happy. It was real happy.
And, you know, and those things, Tangie, I'm sorry, I'm just going to say this real quick. That's self-advocacy. And I think especially for women, and then women of color and Black women in particular, have issues with speaking up about ourselves, or you do it and people don't believe you. And so all of those things, I'm glad to hear that you have come to a place where you have a plan in place, and you're not afraid to speak and say, listen, these are my needs. Like, this is not just me trying to be pretty princess or whatever the case may be. Right. Like, this is what I need, you know, for my reasons. And you don't have to go any further than that because like you said, you're young, you know, you're energetic, and these are not necessarily all symptoms that can be seen, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist.
Exactly.
And so, you know, kudos to you for being a self-advocate, because sometimes those types of things will shut somebody down. Right. So they just stop talking about it and they go along with the program that go along to get along, because it's easier to do that than to fight for myself to get those notices, you know, okay, here's the doctor's note and I'm not coming with any more than this, you know, like I'm not bringing my whole life medical records to work to prove what I'm saying. And to know that you have to do what's right and what's best for you, no matter what. So thank you for sharing that and for doing that for yourself.
Yes. And in that, like, you know, talking to some of my accountability partners who are in the servant leader space, as well as educational space, I didn't know that you can get a 504 plan as an adult for people to implement. I did not know that. So that was the next step. Thankfully I have a supportive team, squad, staff that I work for at the school that I work for. Like, so I didn't have to go the extra mile again, additional legal paper. It was legit like, here's the medical note. Here's your accommodation. Do you, boo? Let us know what you need. But I know that's not everybody's story or support system, especially at their jobs. But I was prepared to, like, if I need to get this additional legal document of a 504 plan, then I could. But I didn't know anything about that until this situation. So that, having those support systems, joining a support group, even if it's on Facebook, y'all, you got to be careful with that though, because you got to remember your story ain't everybody else's story. Y'all ain't going through the same things, but I can definitely say that helped as a strategy, since we were still on that question of just like joining. It's a Facebook group called Mixed Connective Tissue Group or something like that. I can't remember. But when I went into the group, it was like, oh my gosh, I am not alone. I'm not the only one who's feeling like they are losing it right now, or who's in pain just because it's 25 degrees outside. Like, it felt good to just like screenshots. I did it a couple weeks ago, screenshot the weather app and just drop it in there without saying anything. And they was like, I feel you, girl. Like, it's something so simple that nobody else will understand unless you got a chronic issue, and the weather impacts you. But it was funny, y'all. It was legit funny. Everybody else their little screenshots of the weather because we all are feeling it. So definitely finding your circle, whatever that is. For me, it's social media. I like social media. But also being mindful and being careful about your story and other people's stories aren't always parallel. So don't take on other people's issues because that might not be for you. I think that's all my strategies, though.
Those are some really great strategies and really good advice to people out there. So, which actually leads me to my next question. So you gave a lot of resources. You talked about, what you do and how you're connected. You even talked about a 504 plan. So just for people to reach out to you, maybe if they need advice or somebody to talk to because they're experiencing these issues as well, how can you be reached?
Yes. So, mainly on my business page, at cultivated.connections on Instagram and Facebook. All the things is at cultivated.connections. But you also can add my personal Facebook page, which is my name, Tanjarae Porter. So either one of those is fine. I'm everywhere on social media. So holler at your girl.
But thank you. And thank you for all the insights you've given us today and actually bringing a smile. I tell people, even though we talk about chronic health and mental illness, we don't have to spend a lot of time crying or be upset about it because it is what it is. We have to deal with it. So we can bring a light to mental health sometimes. So I do like that perspective that you gave us today, to even just to still smile through it. So that actually helped me as well. So thank you so much for that. And so normally we do have Tim who comes in and do the motivational minute. However, Tim got called away. He's a minister and he works, so he got called away today. So after Cassandra goes with our sponsorship, and then K Love goes with our Let's Go to Therapy segment, as well as our spotlight, we will ask you to please leave with an encouraging message for us before we close the show tonight.
Of course, girl, I got
you. All right. Thank you so much. Again, thank you, Tanjarae, for coming on and for being so transparent, because that is much needed. So we really appreciate that. I am going to go into our sponsorship segment. So we want you, please, as you can see, and empower our mission, right? Open Letters to a Survivor seeks sponsors to help us shine a light on mental health issues within communities for people of color. Together, we can create a lasting change. Email openletterstoasurvivor@gmail.com if you are interested and able to sponsor our podcast. And in that subject line, put sponsor.
Thank you.
Awesome. So before I go into our other segments, I just got one other question that I thought of that I would love for you to answer.
Yes, ma'am.
So, what is one thing you wish people understood about chronic illnesses and how it impacts mental health?
Ooh, let me sit with that one for a minute. Hold on now. I would definitely say, first thing, we don't know when our bodies are going to fail us, nor do we want it to fail us. That was a conversation that I had with my husband one day. We were just chatting a little bit after the diagnosis, and he was like, "Well, how are you really doing?" And I was like, "I don't feel good." And I was like, "I don't feel good mentally." He was like, "What you mean?" I said, "I feel like my body's failing me, and I never know when it's going to happen." And that was a big eye opener. Even to him, he was like, "I never even would have thought about that," because he's a fairly healthy person. He was like, "I never would have thought about how your body is just like doing its own thing and you have no control over it, even though it looks like you're in control, but in actuality, no, I'm not." So I would definitely say that living with any illness, chronic illness, is lonely, is very lonely, but specifically living with a invisible illness is lonelier because nobody can see it. People often are not initially going to show kindness, especially if they don't know. I would say that if you are in relationship, whether that is spousal, marital, friendship, whatever, with that person, with a person that's struggling or thriving, we don't struggle, we thrive. That kindness and patience goes a long way. Again, we don't know when our body's gonna do what it wants to do. So just continue to be kind and loving and graceful and patient, and do whatever you need to do as the caregiver or the friend relationship person to take care of yourself so that you can support that person. So yeah, those are some of the things. I can keep going on. Even though you said one thing, I have to get it all to you.
and that's big too, because like you said, when it's a ailment that can't visibly be seen, most people aren't thinking that there's something wrong with you. And like you say, they don't know your life, they don't know your story, they don't know what you've been through, and people just automatically be like, "Oh, she just complaining for no reason." No, something is really wrong, and I have an issue that I'm working through. I'm still here, I'm still alive. So just be kind, because I really am dealing with something right now. And that's the one thing I commend you for, because you're an open book, and you've explained something that a lot of people don't know about, because I've never heard of your condition before. So
I was like, what is this? I knew about lupus. I knew about scleroderma only because my grandmother had it. But prior to her getting it, I didn't know it. I had never heard of it.
Right.
So yeah, when he was like, "You have mixed connector," I was like, "What is that?" Like,
and some of those terms be like, you making it sound like my body is falling completely apart.
It was definitely that. I'm like, what am I supposed to do with this? I need you to take these next medicines, which I do, and I didn't mention that. But to even know that I have to take medicine every day for the rest of my life, that bothered me as a person that the most medicine I've taken maybe is like ibuprofen. And that's not often. I got to be in some severe pain to pop an ibuprofen. So to know that I have to take this medicine every day so that it doesn't progress, because thankfully nothing, my organs are fine. God bless. My organs are fine. But to ensure that consistently happens and stays that way, got to take this medicine. And then to know that it wasn't going to come, you weren't going to see nothing until 4 months after I took the medicine. I struggle with that. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Wait, what?
Say, I
That
thought I was
happened
gonna
to
get
you
some
too?
response, some immediate reaction.
Right. It's 4 months.
4 months. 4 months. But he was like, we'll give you prednisone. So I'm like, you trying to tell me I'm about to get thick? Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am so silly.
That's,
Love it.
and this is why you need therapy. We gonna slide right on into let's go to therapy.
You see how she did that transition, Tangy? You see?
So, and that's why you here, honey, because we all are trying to heal. Our motto is let's heal together. You know, and because we've understood now that chronic ailments can cause us to have mental issues, it's okay. It's okay to admit to that. It's okay to say I need help. And that's why we're going to go to let's go to therapy. So we have two wonderful therapists. First, we have Miss Belinda, and she works with the Cleveland Health and Wellness Center, and they focus on trauma in our communities with our people. And she is awesome, awesome, awesome. We always pump her up because she does a great work. And you can reach her at belinda@chawc.org and just send her an email, or you can reach out to us and we'll give you another way to connect to her. And then we have Miss Shamar Hutchins. She is the creator and founder of Mind. Focuses on trauma within our community. So you can also reach on all social media. You guys, did you hear that? Was you able to hear me? Okay. So you can reach her through Mindologist on all social media platforms. And what's special about her therapy is that she created a course, have somebody that you are able to talk to or set up an appointment with. Okay. And then we're going to move right along to our spotlight. I get so excited about our spotlight because it's one of our own, our minister, Tim Stevens, who's unfortunately not able to be here tonight, as she already mentioned, but he has his own business, which has launched already. And it is, you can reach them on Instagram at right.brothers216. And it's apparel for men and for women to add to your clothing, you know, a tie or some cuffs, you know, just something to spruce up your look. And what's our phrase, girls? Get right,
feel
right, stay right.
So you can grow right.
Right.
Oh, yes. Period.
Period.
I love my brother, and his line, you got to check it out, you know, because he's all about spreading not just the gospel, but finding ways to make you feel better about yourself and how you look and how you carry yourself and how you dress yourself up. So, you know, that's therapy by itself. Okay. And that's all I have, unless you got somebody else.
No, not today. And so if you want to get on to our Let's Go to Therapy segment, as she said, or our Spotlight segment, please reach out to us at openletterstoasurvivor@gmail.com. And you can put Spotlight in the subject line, or in the subject line you could put Let's Go to Therapy, and we'll get your business or you featured on our show. We love to highlight small businesses. We love to highlight therapists in our communities that help us with our traumas. We would love to get you connected. So we're going to turn it over to you for an encouraging word, and then we're done for the week. So please like, comment, share, subscribe. to our channel and our group also on Facebook. Next week, we do have another awesome guest who is a 6-time cancer survivor that she will be on next week to tell her story. So thank you. Please tune in to our theme for the month, chronic illness and mental health. And please take it away with an encouraging word.
Yes. So my encouraging word has something to do with what I have already mentioned. Basically, you are not dead. Even though you might be in pain and not feeling well, you're not dead. So find your joy. Period. Find things that make you smile. It could be the smallest thing, it could be the biggest thing, but fill your cup, especially because as a person or people who live with chronic illness, we're usually pouring what we have in out energetically because we're fighting to feel good. So find the things that fill your cup back up. Even if it's your earrings. I'm an earring girl that fills my cup. Okay, so find your joy, smile through it. That doesn't mean you're being fake. It just takes more muscles in your face to frown than it does to smile. So smile instead of frowning, okay? That's all I got. You not dead. Go live a little bit.
I know that's right. Yes. Go live. So that's going to be our post for the week. Go live.
Yes. Take your pain pill and go live.
And there's the full connection right there.
Yes, I actually love it. This was one of my favorite episodes. Not that any other one was less, but this is one of my favorite episodes for the night. So thank you. We'll be back. We might have technical issues because whenever you're doing something for God, the devil always busy. But we'll get it worked out. But thank you. We love you. Thank you for coming on today. Like, comment, share, subscribe. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.